Hello everyone and welcome back to another 2026 Thomas & Friends toy review. Today we're taking a look at the brand new Metal Gordon. Now this is an engine that was pretty bad of when it first got revealed, mainly because, does this remind you of Gordon? Really not much. And the fact that his smoke box and his overall face and just his boiler size is much bigger than Henry and especially James. So it's weird that Gordon now has a different color blue. He's now much thicker than Henry, and he's much thicker than James now. So Gordon really got a complete revamp. Taking a look at the packaging here, you again see Gordon's render in the top of the box. We also have some, I'm guessing, mistakes right there. As you can see right below his face, those two pieces on his running board are not supposed to be red. They are supposed to be black. He does have two headlamps, which is really cool, like a proper express engine. So that's a nice addition that Mattel gave Gordon. Other than that, other than the mistake in the front with the red, Gordon looks great. This is kind of like a Happy Expression Gordon face from the later Hit era made into a cartoon. That's basically what they did. That's what this reminds me of. So we used to say Gordon's face is really, really bad. But if you look at screenshots of Hit era Gordon in like season 9 or 10 or 11, and he has like this smiling face where he is showing teeth, that's basically what they based this face off of. And it's sad, but yes, they did do a good job. It's just cartoon now, so it looks pretty jarring. But anyways, Gordon sporting this darker blue. Back of the box, again, we have Henry, James, Gordon, Annie, and Thomas, Toad, and Oliver. Thomas & Friends logo on the top left. Created by Brett Allcroft, 2026, Ghislaine Thomas Limited, Mattel Engineering Generations through Play. I don't think Generations are going to be playing with this stuff, but I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I won't be. So, overall, again, the brand new packaging looks great. I've never really had a complaint with the new packaging. I love the colors. Metal logo on the top right here. Available on YouTube Kids. So without further ado, let's get this Gordon open. I'm very excited. Let's take a look at another tender engine, just another die-cast engine. The metal engines are just miles better than anything motorized. Just anything motorized. There we go. Should be good. Other side now. It's just like opening up an Ertl. There we go. So Gordon's all safe and sound, ready to be opened. Packaging intact. Put that off to the side. Now, I'm kind of sad. I really haven't talked about it, but I am sad that the brand new packaging doesn't have like any pamphlets or any advertisements in here. Like, with every brand new toy, they should be releasing a pamphlet talking about the brand new reboot, giving us dates of when the first movie's coming out, how to watch it, all that. There's no good marketing for Thomas & Friends. The marketing has always been garbage. And that's something that the old merchandise actually did correctly. They gave you pamphlets, it talked about the toy line, it gave you all the products. Now you buy a toy and it gives you nothing. Nothing about TV series, anything. All you get is the YouTube Kids logo, which is not good enough. But anyways, yeah, real quick before we get onto the other tripod. I don't know how I feel about Gordon. I think he's the worst tender engine by far, but let's get onto the other tripod and take a closer look at him. So we are back on the other tripod, and I just want to quickly point this out. The first thing I noticed about the brand new Gordon is that the space between his cab and his tender is a lot smaller than, for example, James. Look at the gap between these engines. You can just see it. The gap between the tender of James and his cab and then Gordon in his. That is insane. I don't know why that is. It's probably just a design choice based off of the renders of these two engines that they had, but just interesting. I prefer the way that they have Gordon. I don't think all this space is a good thing. yeah, I prefer, you know, having it kind of tighter to the body of the engine. But anyways, that's another look at the brand new James, which I reviewed yesterday. Go and check out that channel on the video. Go and check out that video on the channel. But without further ado, let's take a look at the brand new Gordon. Let's start out with the front and make our way back as always. So let's spin the turntable around here without coupling up to the yellow troublesome truck. Here is the brand new Gordon face. Oh my. So here we've got 2 headlamps, 2 unpainted buffers. We have blue eyes, the thick eyebrows. Actually, 1 second. So as we all know, I did buy a Thomas & Friends prop of an angry Gordon face. So check this out. This is really cool. So we have Gordon's brand new eyebrows, but check out the eyebrows that were used on Gordon's prop face from The Great Discovery, Season 10 and Season 11. Screen used Gordon face from the Thomas & Friends crew. Check out his eyebrows compared to these eyebrows. I told you, this is like a cartoon hit era Gordon. So we can say the face was maybe executed not the best, but it's not a bad Gordon face, like objectively. Look at the eyebrows, look at the face. I have an actual Gordon prop right here next to the brand new Gordon. You cannot tell me the brand new Gordon face is objectively bad. You may not like it, but objectively, it's not a bad Gordon face. Look at it. Look at the comparison. By the way, I am getting a Magic Railroad screen-used Henry face very soon, so be on the lookout for that. I did make a video on it on the channel. Bought a brand new Henry face from Season 1 all the way through Season 12, basically. And Magic Railroad used, so that's great. But yeah, so Gordon's eyebrows, basically the exact same as his prop. So, you know, this face was really jarring at first, but once you connect the dots, it all kind of makes sense. He is showing some teeth, as I did explain. He's got eyebrows there, the blue eyes. It's not a bad Gordon face, I'm not going to lie. It's pretty jarring at first, but yeah, but like I said, once you just compare actual images and think about it as like a cartoon redesign, it's not bad. It was jarring at first, I'm not going to lie. So like I said, we have 2 headlamps here, which I think is really cool. Like a proper express engine. Now we just need some express coaches, Mattel. Come on now. And actually, I think one of the biggest things that we have not talked about yet is the color change. Gordon, Edward, and Thomas are no longer the same color. Gordon is a rich, dark royal blue. Excuse me. Rich, dark royal blue. Thomas is a much lighter blue. And I'm not going to lie, I think this really suits Gordon. It really suits him. Edward is actually kind of like a version in between these guys. And so it's going to be interesting to see when we get Edward in person what the comparison is like on camera for these 3 engines. But yeah, it was pretty surprising that they were mixing up some colors. For example, Percy and Henry are not the same color either. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see the comparison of all the different colors of the engines. I think it's a positive change. They didn't have to change it, but for a brand new reboot to give certain engines different shades, it's not a bad idea. So, front of Gordon, it honestly is better the more... I think it gets better the more you look at it. Now, here's my biggest problem with Gordon. Look how thick his smoke box is. I guess I should turn him fully to the side here. Look how thick his smoke box is. It's like 2 fingers worth. That smoke box is massive. For example, here's James. You know, it kind of starts right there, and look at how much bigger it is. Gordon's smoke box is like the size of James's smoke box and his face. So I really don't like that they did that. It's like they're going like an All Engines Go route where they're making, you know, the bigger the engine, the older the engine. Like the older the engine, the bigger. As in like All Engines Go had like grown-up engines and child engines. Like Thomas and Percy were children and Gordon was like an adult, which was really dumb. Just stupid. And so hopefully they're not going that route in this reboot. But yeah, the smoke box is way too thick. I also think the funnel is pretty weird. It doesn't really remind me of a Gordon funnel. It's almost like a bit too tall. It's like not squashed enough. His dome looks good. Here's a top shot of Gordon. His cab roof looks fantastic. He has a physical cab roof, which I really love. I'm not sure why we couldn't get that on Diecast James. Physical roof right here looks fantastic. We really could have used it on the brand new James. Just saying. So we have Gordon's splashers here, and he's got some rivets. He's got rivets on his splashers. He's got rivets on the cab. The red lining looks good. You see he's got his wheel set there. They gave him many extra wheels compared to prior years, I feel like. If I haven't been keeping up with Mattel's diecast engines, I apologize. I did not follow the previous diecast slop, but we also have Gordon's number 4 tender here. Before we get any further into taking a look at Gordon, let's take a quick look at the bottom of Gordon and his front bogey. We have his name on the bottom there, the Thomas Ticket 2026, made in Thailand. These metal engines are. Here's the front bogey and how it works. Very, very similar, if not the exact same to James. I'm wondering if they have like a limited range of movement, because I'm guessing this black plastic piece like bumps into the front magnet. That's how the bogey works. And he also has a back wheel set here and only 4 wheels on the tender, which is a big shame. I'm not sure if you can actually take off the chassis from the running board of these diecast engines. I don't know what these like bolts or somewhat like screws are, but I don't think you can. And again, the tender is fully attached, hooked in there, which I'm very glad about. I think it's like Ertl, but made better. It's very smooth. Now, one thing I quickly noticed while just kind of messing around with Gordon is that you really can't, these guys are really just meant for like the big motorized track curves, because the tender derails here. So with the extra wheel sets and the wide, long tender, these guys derail on like sharp curves, if you can see the tender in the back there. So that's something I just noticed. But now let's take a look at Gordon's cab. So again, we have the beautiful physical cab roof right there, just like in the TV series. We also have the cab window lining. We have the handrails on the tender and on the cab. Again, I love how the inside the cab is like fully blacked out. You can't see into it. That was a big problem the 80th anniversary slop had, is that the cabs were not fully blacked out. Now, we do have a factory error here, I just noticed, but Gordon's boiler stripes right there are not fully lined up, and they're not fully lined up here either. So I do have a factory error Gordon, which is kind of a shame, but I also think it's pretty cool. It's not the biggest deal in the world. The only real noticeable one is this one in the back here. The one thing I don't like is I wish Gordon did have his whistle. Same with James. I think James really needed his whistle because his whistle is really iconic. But yeah, sadly, the tender engines did not get whistles. And the tank engines really didn't get them either. And if they did, they're not even colored in. So I think we get a good taste of how Gordon's body is. This is the only metal part. This section here is boiler, splashers, his firebox in here, his shape. This is the metal part. This is all plastic. So when it's, a metal Gordon, it's really only like 50% metal. The rest is plastic, which is a shame. So now we move on to the tender, and I've been on record saying the tenders suck, and I'm sticking with that here. The coal load is exponentially worse. You can see like the blue paint slightly bleeding from underneath the coal, because I guess they just didn't do a good job of fully putting on the coal load. Now look at Percy's coal, right? It's got like a matte finish, kind of. Thomas is actually a better example, but Percy's coal has more texture. It's like thick too, and it fully encases the coal bunker. Meanwhile, the tenders have like the tender paint bleeding out from underneath. You can see like these shades of blue in here. So the coal load really sucks, which is a shame because, a tender engine, their tender is a big part of the engine, and it was not done well. But we have the number 4 here. He does have rivets. You can also kind of see like the black coal paint kind of like smudging onto the top of the tender. So that's a shame. Overall, yeah, the tenders are a big negative. I'm not going to try and defend them. They're not really good, and especially for Gordon's, it's way too short. I wouldn't say it's too long, but it's way too short. It's got to be taller, and it only has 4 wheels. I don't really care about the 4 wheels so much. But if you're going to give us 4 wheels, at least give us the proper height, because now this just looks dumb, and it's all plastic. But obviously we have the magnet on the back still, so overall, Gordon's pretty cool. I think he's going to be the worst tender engine, though, by far, just because the shapes and the proportions of Gordon are pretty wacky, not very consistent. Now we just need to get a... So we need to get some coaches in this line. We need some like express coaches or something. But here's how Gordon scales with the yellow troublesome truck. Like I said earlier, the troublesome truck seems to be taller than the tenders. Which I don't really get. I'll make a YouTube short showing off Gordon on the Tidmouth Sheds turntable, so don't you worry. You'll get more Gordon in action here on the channel very, very soon. But yeah, I mean, I think overall it's a very nice refresh of Gordon. Just wasn't executed the best. I can see how this could be an absolute banger of a Gordon, but Mattel they're still sticking with like older engines or bigger engines are going to be bigger, and just like all engines go. Hopefully they don't actually go that route like they did in the actual TV series for All Engines Go. And hopefully the reboot is just like, they're all normal, just engines. But looking at the merchandise, it seems as though Gordon's going to be like the older one. Older than James and all that stuff, like in actual age. And Thomas and Percy could be children. That's going to really suck. But this has been my review on the 2026 Metal Gordon. Overall, I think it's a very mixed bag, but I think he is essential to picking up because it is the brand new reboot Gordon, and you're going to have to get him in either motorized or metal, and I suggest the metal one. But obviously, I'll get the motorized one in a few days and review that, and then I'll make up my mind which one I prefer. But this has been a review on the 2026 Gordon. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, and I'll see you in the next review, which is on 2026 Metal Henry.